Why don't you just tell everyone a little bit about your background as it pertains to the combustion catalyst?
Academically, I have a doctorate in biochemistry and a secondary degree in chemical rheology, and went to work with those 2 degrees for the government, working on catalyzation products which developed into this chemistry. Not something solely on my own. The government was using it for a lot of other things, but I saw some interest in it, so we took it a step further, and over the last 27 years of manufacturing fuel additives have decided that this technology in particular was the foremost that's available in the United States and basically in the world right now.
All right, well, that's wonderful. How did you get involved in this particular science, in this particular technology?
Did some research with the government on using it as a rocket booster, actually as a missile booster for the Department of Defense with a contract we had when we first started our own private sector business.
And okay, so explain in lay terms, if you would please, Steve, how and why does this product work?
Well, unlike other fuel additives, it is a catalyst, and it's not a catalyst for fuels, for the liquid fuels themselves. It's actually metallurgy and has a reaction with what's called, in this case, the fire deck, which is the metal surface in a combustion chamber in an internal combustion engine. It's very similar to what's used in the rocket boosters, open flame boilers, et cetera, et cetera. But again, the product relates to metallurgy, not true chemistry where you'd be altering the fuel. And it does work by forming a very, 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 very thin coating, somewhere below 800 angstroms. This catalyzes the metal. In other words, you have to picture the whole fire deck as an envelope, and that's what you're altering. You're altering a moment in time when the fuel detonates. You're not altering the fuel. So the catalysis takes place in the combustion chamber, and you've actually formed a condition in the combustion chamber on the surfaces of the fire deck. That's all of the metal surfaces that are exposed to the detonation or the combustion. And you're catalyzing that space and time, that actual combustion process.
So we talk about on the label of the EnviroTab, reduced emissions. How does it reduce emissions?
Well, essentially, as we said a second ago, it causes hydrocarbon fuels to ignite faster. So from the point of detonation of the fuel, with the fuel igniting faster, the long-chain hydrocarbons that usually burn slower and create particulate emission issues burn rapidly, therefore lowering the particulate emissions that you're asking about. In addition to that, because they do burn quicker, less nitrogen or nitrogen byproducts produced, which are the NOx and the non-particulate emissions that everybody's concerned with right now.
So basically, more fuel is burning in the power stroke, less is therefore having to burn in the exhaust stroke, so you're getting less emissions. Would that be a fair lay statement?
That was well put. It's approximately 30% increase in downstroke efficiency.
And same thing for saving money, getting better mileage. Is it the same benefit?
Right. Well, you have that approximately, again, 30% increase in downstroke, and that can be translated into quite a savings in mileage, again, depending on how you drive as well.
Let's talk about the fact that you can actually go from a premium fuel to a regular fuel by using the product, but that alone saves 20, 30, 40 cents. All my vehicles say use premium only. I've been using only regular, and the car runs beautifully. Why is it that you can use a lower octane fuel with the product and still get great results?
That is an excellent question. I'm glad you brought that up. The whole purpose of premium fuels is simply to have a higher octane rating or a higher octane number. And the higher octane is simply to provide more power in a very cheap and economical way to the vehicle. By using the EnviroTab and getting that increase in the combustion characteristics, you no longer need that extra octane to do it because the product is now handling that. You're getting the performance without the expense of the added octane boosters that are used in the premium fuel.
So bottom line is anybody that's using premium can now use regular and have a better performance in the vehicle, and that's a savings, actually a large savings on its own. Can you talk a little bit about lowering maintenance costs, longevity of the engine, and why?
Certainly. Again, because it's a metal technology, and that quote-unquote thin film is formed, it accomplishes several things. It can eliminate popping holes in the top of a piston from overburning and the thermite reaction of other ingredients that are found in commercial pump fuels. It reduces technically what everybody's calling head wear lately, which is just wear around the valve seats and so forth. Now, an interesting thing is an early version of the material was actually used by a couple of major players in the fuel industry to replace lead until the no-leaded fuel situation was squared away as a valve seat material, which it still works, obviously, in that function and reduces both valve wear and valve seat wear because of that. It will also, because it causes unburned carbon deposits to burn off, lengthen the life of the rings on the piston. You will get less blow-by over only a few thousand miles. The rings will clean up tremendously. And tests that have been done with major engine manufacturers, if you take an engine that's not treated, comparative length of time and miles of an engine that is treated, you'll notice the treated engine looks brand new. It's pretty amazing. So there's a lot of money that can be saved in wear and tear, and again, especially with commercial vehicles that suffer harder extremes in how they're used and so forth.
So unlike detergents that may clean the hard carbon deposits off, but then drop those little, essentially rocks into the oil, which act as almost a sandblast of the engine, this is burning the carbon off, and therefore engines can last significantly longer, and oil changes can be reduced, which is just another savings. Is that correct?
Right. Well, you're going to act to burn off even the hard carbon that's there. You're going to reduce blow-by through the rings. That's going to, of course, preserve the oil for a longer length of time. It is a tremendous factor against the normal wear of an engine.
If I can just kind of add on to that, we actually have trucks that were normally changing the oil every 15,000 miles, and now changing them every 40,000 miles with no harmful effects because of the product. So people say, well, can this hurt my vehicle in any way? So let's talk about that. Can it do any damage in any way, shape, or form to the car?
No, the material itself is EPA registered, and it's EPA registered requiring what they call a Tier 1 data submission, which has to prove that the EPA, that the material warrants safely for the environment and the user and the vehicle to be allowed in commercial pumped fuel. The material itself will not hurt a car no matter how much you use it. It's totally benign.
Well, in fact, you have testing done that I have and others have that shows it doesn't do anything to the fuel at all, which takes it out of the fuel additive arena. It actually chemically does not alter the fuel whatsoever, correct?
Right. It has no relationship to the fuel at all. In fact, at one point we were lobbying the EPA to have it waived as a fuel additive because it has nothing to do with it, but they don't have a category to put it in if it isn't a fuel additive. And there's no discernible difference between the product in a fuel and the fuel without the product.
So if anybody says, well, can this hurt my car? It doesn't do anything to the fuel. Nothing in particulate matter in a particulate size gets past the fuel filter. It's just a cause and effect situation. Not only can it not hurt your car, it's not possible to hurt the car, it's actually good for the engine. So that's why we're calling it the first vitamin for your vehicle.
Exactly.
So part of the problem, obviously, Steve, is the quote-unquote additive arena is crowded with junk. I call it a snake oil industry. So many of these companies have these products that are nothing more than detergents, but they make the same claims. So why is the EnviroTabs unlike anything else in the market today?
Well, again, it has nothing to do with the fuel, where the other products do. They're all either solvents or modified detergent blends to clean out varnishes and so forth, built up weak carbon deposits, things that were more common 20 years ago than are in the new vehicles of today. The technology that we have here, as I said, is metal technology. It's very simple, very efficient. Everything about it is beneficial to the engine, from the savings on wear and tear to the fuel savings and so forth and so on. And it, of course, is environmentally friendly. So nothing to do with the fuel additives that are typically on the market.
In closing, where else could you get a product that reduces emissions, that increases the horsepower, the longevity of the engine, and does it all for free, except really the EnviroTabs? And when you look at the market size, the good we can do is just enormous.
The market is huge. Fuel costs will continue to climb. The product is beneficial. It all seems like a no-brainer, and the truth is with the product. So, business is out there.
Steve, I want to thank you very much for your time and your expertise. When you really understand it, the product is working 100% of the time. And so now we have a one-of-a-kind product, but we still have that paradigm of a direct-to-consumer product that's absolutely no cost to anybody who uses it. And we've got this green movement that's just percolating, about ready to explode. If you think you're excited now, wait till the thing starts rolling. It blew my mind, and I was never been easily impressed. I've seen a lot of success in my life, And what we're about to do, I think, is going to impress everybody. Thanks for listening, everyone.